I want to bring in Councillor Ernest Smith, the councillor from Ward 27. Ernest has been with us in the last couple of shows, and the listeners have requested that Ernest joins us because of the candid way in which he presents his response, and he's not afraid of calling a spade and not defending the municipality. Ernest, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to News in Focus live on Radio Al Ansar International.
Wa alaikum salam. Jazakallah for having me again. I do appreciate coming on, Yunus, really.
Okay, thanks for joining us, Ernest. Ernest, I was mentioning when I commenced the show that we had a lot of rain in the last few days. As you and I are driving in the different roads, and we noticing that the potholes are increasing in size, and with the water, sometimes you're traveling at a decent speed and suddenly you bang this pothole and you curse the municipality. And then part of the roads on the side are being washed away because municipality workers have been digging and fixing up, water pipes, etc., and not repairing, and it's getting bad to us. For example, in West Road, where Imtiaz and myself and Hassan and others, we drive towards coming to the studio, and there's more potholes to avoid than the road itself, and this has been prevalent for a number of years. And we know the general state of service delivery, we've been harping on this subject for a number of months. It's getting bad to worse. And as Imtiaz pointed out, crime is also a municipal service delivery and a government service delivery issue, because Metro Police are part of the municipality and they should be looking at criminal activities. And he mentioned that the CBD is becoming a no-go area because, you're scared to even walk in the CBD because you're going to get mugged. And there's various other criminal activities. But motorists are complaining about service delivery. I've heard tourists coming in and they're getting mugged in the central area. So eThekwini is on section 154 and there's a call for 139. Now, perhaps I know that you in the trading services cluster where you deal with electricity, water, and other trading services like solid waste, etc. And we know that, even solid waste have got its fair degree of problems. And because the employees are unionized, there's a huge degree of problems with them. And people are not even delivering waste, the black packets to households because that is being stolen now as well. And when those trucks come, they leave the place in a bigger mess than when the bags were there. So perhaps, Ernest, you just want to reflect that, or agree or disagree with me, that progressively the situation is getting bad to worse.
Of course. That goes without saying, Yunus. And, the unfortunate part is when you look at what service delivery is, all right, whether it's your black bags, whether it's the roads, whether it's the street lights, whether it's the trees getting trimmed or just general street sweeping, the unfortunate part is there are so many contributing factors to this. And I'm just going to take us back a little bit into our previous conversation. We are facing a situation as a city where we cannot tackle crime effectively. It's as simple as that. We do not have the numbers. We are, what are we now? 2010. We are 13 years past our World Cup standard. Under our World Cup standard. We were supposed to have a good number of, I think it was 10,000 Metro members, if I'm not mistaken, out and about. That has not happened. Right. The second part is, before I go there, a lot of residents tell me, especially those who are close to and around the stadiums and the main arterial routes there, suddenly when the World Cup happened, there were no vagrants on the streets. And I don't mean to use the word vagrants in a derogatory fashion, where unfortunately the municipality has gotten to the point where there's a sensitivity around what we call people on the street, whether it's homeless or vagrants, so much to the point that homeless, the name homeless and vagrant is now derogatory, and now they're referred to as the pavement community, which, if this term keeps on evolving and we have to try and keep up. But the reality is, the comparison is always drawn. How come in 2010 the municipality could achieve this good standard? There's no vagrants around. There's no people begging at the robots. Everybody's saying, wow, what a wonderful city. And not even a month after the World Cup is gone, suddenly we've gone back to having people begging at the robots. And I want to emphasize and agree with Imtiaz on one point. We cannot be funding a syndicate because this pegging at the robots, this soliciting of money from people, and you'll notice, especially on roads like Argyle Road, or what's it called now, Zandile and other roads, there's the use of children, which is now obviously child exploitation and abuse. And that brings in a whole new dynamic. And it is a multi-million rand syndicate. And that is what I think the listeners also need to understand, is that when we reach in for the 2 rand or the 10 rand or whatever it is, we are busy fueling this, because the reality is these children in the road do not belong to the lady or whoever, or the man on the side of the road that they go and give the money to. They're actually renting these children from their parents from whichever area that these people are coming from. And I've been told the people are coming from far as Inanda, as the MTR said, Richards Bay and other areas, because there's the perception that there is wealth in those areas. And the reality is, well, we're us giving 10, 20, 30, 50 rand, we are fueling a problem. And it translates into drugs, it translates into the amount of people on the roads. And this also, and I'm sorry to say, this also translates to the feeding schemes that we have. Right here on Ridge Road, all right? Peter Macabre Ridge, as it's known. Every Sunday at about 2:00, there's some gentleman or lady, whoever it is, in a panel van that comes and distributes food to, the disimpoverished peoples, homeless, vagrants, whatever you want to call them. They distribute that. Now, I've received at least 30, 40 complaints around it, but everybody, and I don't know if MTS, you've experienced the same thing, but everybody will rather come through you and say, you please make a noise, because if I complain, it looks like I'm not supporting my brother in doing what he's doing. I don't know if you've had the same kind of thing. And it becomes a problem, because you're bringing people into an area that not all of them are thieves and crooks, but there are people who are using that crowd as a cover to scope out what you have got. I, unfortunately, in Soldier's Way, whether I was stupid or not, but I had my window open, not even 2 mils, and I just put my phone down, coming back from a council meeting or something. As soon as I put my phone down, I saw a hand reaching in, and this guy was gone within 10 seconds and right into the taxi rank.
With your phone?
No. He was probably maybe 15 centimeters away from taking it. Not like 15, that far. I literally just put it down. And I yelled and screamed at him because he was trying to steal something. You
should have closed your window.
No, it was fully up. Eunice, I'm telling you, it was not even 2 centimeters open.
Didn't you close it and smash his fingers or something?
I tried to, but some guys got long fingers and very quick. So.
Yes.
But the reality is, people are desperate. And please don't think, in the description of this fellow, and I need residents and listeners to understand, this fellow was dressed in Gucci and polo tops. It is the most unsuspecting person that you could actually look at that is dressed so well, and suddenly, boom. Another incident was on Hartley Road, where myself and last year, I think it was, early last year, we were busy doing cleanups and the like. And these blokes came up, and you think, okay, these, as councillor, you don't know everybody. So somebody comes, hey, how are you? They stop the car, hey, how are you? Hey, up. My cell phone's gone. We chased them down, police went after them, but, people disappear in the split of an eye, and in the split second. So the reality of it is, and these guys, again, okay, those were foreigners. But the reality is, self-awareness is key. If we keep on inviting negative elements into our communities, whether it's feeding schemes, giving money, the like, we are creating our own problem. And the problem is that residents are not wanting to report it to Metro Police because it's seen to be unneighborly, unbrotherly, whichever you want. So there are those number of problems. The reality is, once you stop the supply, it starts dissipating. The same thing like a wound. If you keep on scratching it, it's going to keep on festering and bleeding and the like. Once you put ointment on and you stop touching it and put a plaster of it, it starts to heal. It may not be 100%, but the reality is, that's what I wanted to add to that specific thing. Oh, the last thing, sorry, on that point. There are organizations which residents can use. And please, I don't want people to think I'm being inhumane. There are various communities across the metro that have taken a no supporting vagrant stance. You can support SANZAF. You could support the Salvation Army. You can go and support the Gift of the Givers. So these organizations are there to assist people who are down and out. And then whether it's Lila or Zakat, at least what it's there for, and it's been used. But to answer your question, Eunice, if the municipality does not step up and start actually hiring people and appointing people who actually have some competent knowledge about how to run a municipality, we are going straight into a wall of 139, and it's not going to be a pretty story.
Now, Ernest and Imtiaz, I want to bring you in here. About 10 years ago, I remember to you and Imtiaz.
Well, you put me on the hot seat in that one. Listen, Eunice, they're all on a sliding scale. And how deplorable.
I thought, I could say, okay, Treasury, they say it's a well-run area, yet it's no more debt-free, yet it's no more having budget prioritization meetings. Yep. And the billing department that runs is in shambles.
Yeah.
And the rates department is in shambles. It takes many months to get a rates clearance certificate.
If you get it
to answer a billing query, it takes many months. Pensioners whose house values are below 2 million, who are over 60 should be getting a rebate. They put in the application in March or February, and you find the July, August bill, there's no rebates being. When you phone them, they say something is wrong with your application. But why didn't you, in March, when you read the application, say, correct this or do that? In September and October, they tell you there's something wrong with the application. Many of them don't even know, they can't find the application. So thousands of applications are being lost. So all age citizens are losing 500-600 rebates in the houses. And then they're getting charged incorrect meter reading for water, because the water meter readers don't go to the houses. They just guess. For example, 2056 last month, 3056, he guesses 1,000 kiloliters for a month. They charge the sewer charges all go up proportionately, and the individual used to get a water bill of 500 rand, he's got a bill of 4,500.
Yeah.
So he gets the shock of his life, and sometimes they don't read it for 3 months and they hit him with one big bill. Electricity meters are not read for 6 months, suddenly they hit him with a 15,000 bill. Where is the individual who's a pensioner or is a general worker can manage that? So you can't point out any department that's efficient anymore.
Yeah.
So is this what the ratepayer deserves from the municipalities?
Well, that I'm going to put the blame where it squarely is. All right. This problem started because we put the wrong people who essentially put their friends and political frenemies in there. And I say frenemies because it's a term between friend and enemy, depending on which way the wind is blowing. And
now coming to that point, both Imtiaz and you are sitting here, and the community are blaming both of you. They can listen, Imtiaz, you stood for elections.
Yeah.
Now your hands are tied because you are a minority councillor in the bigger scheme of things, because you stood for your civic organization and you became a councillor. You raise issues, and EXCO is run by a particular political party, and they prioritize certain areas. Kwamashu, Amlazi, that's where our main voters stay. Forget about the Asheville's of this world and other areas. So can the councillors who stood for elections that go there and make their voice known and nothing happens, that can they be blamed?
Let me come in there, Eunice. When you're talking
because I'm getting some WhatsApp messages to that effect, Imtiaz.
When you're talking about being a councillor and when you're talking about getting services delivered, remember there's two parts to council. One is a ward councillor and one is a PR councillor. It doesn't necessarily mean that you sitting in council, you do nothing.